Many believe they know what it's like to be a police officer. We see the flashing lights, the uniforms, the headlines, the Hollywood portrayals. Maybe you've seen officers directing traffic, responding to emergencies, or patrolling your neighborhood. But how much do you really know about what it means to live this career? Not the stereotypes, not the TV drama, but the actual day-to-day life, the challenges and the benefits of being a police officer. My name is Bob Delaney, and I'm a retired police officer. Since my retirement from law enforcement, I've devoted much of my time to writing, speaking, and advocacy, authoring 3 books to educate, inspire, and encourage civic engagement. That work has earned me several honors, including the President's Volunteer Service Award. My goal has always been to inspire positive change and share lessons from both my professional career and my personal journey. Given my insight, I want to take you inside the world of law enforcement, the rewards, the challenges, and the difference you can make. I invite you to pause for a moment and reconsider what you think you know about this career. Law enforcement is much more than just enforcing laws. It's about solving problems, protecting people, and supporting the community through some of its most difficult moments. For many, it's a career filled with meaning, purpose, and promise. When we talk about career goals after college, we often focus on stability, earning a decent living, and making a real impact. And there is one career path that rarely gets the credit it deserves in those conversations: policing. Welcome. Let's explore the details of why policing is a great career. Now, I'm asking you to set aside the stereotypes for just a moment. Let's talk numbers, and let's talk opportunity. In many communities, the starting salary for a police officer is around $70,000 right out of the gate, immediately after training. No years of climbing the corporate ladder, no unpaid internships. And here is where it gets even more compelling. Stick with the job, stay committed. After just 10 years, you could already be earning over $100,000 per year. Think about that. That's more than what many business analysts, registered nurses, or even some engineers make. In fact, it's more than the income of many professionals who spent years in graduate school, only to end up facing constant job uncertainty and the looming threat of layoffs. Meanwhile, policing offers not just a strong salary, but a level of job stability that's increasingly rare today. Layoffs, corporate restructuring, and market shifts make a long-term stability hard to come by in most fields. But policing stands apart. It remains an essential service that communities rely on every day. And with that comes consistent, reliable employment. Law enforcement agencies across the country are actively hiring, often offering generous signing bonuses worth thousands of dollars. And yet many departments still struggle to find enough qualified applicants. That means when you choose policing, you're not just signing up for a good paycheck. You're stepping into a career with financial stability, and one that is largely insulated from the economic ups and downs that impact most corporate jobs. Now let's discuss overtime. Overtime typically means any hours you work beyond 40 in a standard work week. In many entry-level jobs, you may be pressured to put in those extra hours without any extra pay. But policing is different. When you go over your normal hours, you get paid extra, a time and a half. That's 1.5 times your normal hourly wage. That adds up quickly and can help you plan for your future. In policing, you can earn overtime for extra shifts, such as covering for someone else during vacations or other vacancies, special events, including football games, concerts, protests, court appearances outside of your scheduled shift, extended investigations or calls that run past your shift, emergency situations like hurricanes or disasters. Overtime is a huge income booster for many Florida officers. Some officers make tens of thousands more per year through overtime alone. Plus, in some agencies, overtime can even count towards your pension. That brings us to perhaps the greatest financial benefit of all, the pension plan. A law enforcement pension in Florida is a big deal. As you're graduating and launching your career, Most people your age are focused on salary and maybe a 401k. That means you will have to contribute part of each paycheck to an investment account, which may or may not grow over time. But with policing, you are considering a job that comes with a real pension. Unlike traditional retirement accounts that depend on market performance or require you to think about saving, a pension gives you a monthly paycheck for life after you retire. This means you have a guaranteed salary when you are done working. That is financial peace of mind at a whole new level. Pensions are rare these days, and in Florida law enforcement, it is a major win. Here's why. First, early retirement. Many law enforcement officers can retire around age 55, if not earlier, and still collect their full pension. At that age, most of your peers will still be working 9-to-5 jobs. And retiring early doesn't mean you have to stop working. Instead, it means you will have the time and the money to do whatever you want with your day. In fact, it can open a door to a whole second career, one where you're still earning your pension and bringing in a whole other paycheck. Imagine this, stepping into roles like training and consulting, emergency management, security and private investigations, or even pursuing another passion of yours. Second is lifetime income. After just 20 to 30 years of work, you could be paid more than $80,000 per year. That's over $6,600 per month for the rest of your life. Most financial advisors will tell you that to guarantee a steady retirement income like that, you need to save over $1.5 million. In policing, it comes standard with the job. A guaranteed pension also means you don't have to save as much for retirement, which gives you the freedom to spend more of your paycheck while you are still working. Let's be honest, a lot of careers today don't offer long-term security, but policing comes with real job stability and a retirement plan that's designed to support you long after you hung up the badge. Third, the DROP program. Towards the end of their careers, many officers are also eligible for the Deferred Retirement Option Program, or DROP. Instead of retiring and starting to collect your pension right away, you can choose to keep working for several more years. And during that time, you keep getting your regular paycheck while your pension payments get saved up in a special account, a Florida Retirement System Trust Fund. When you finally do retire, you get a big lump sum of all those saved up payments, usually amounting to hundreds of thousands of dollars, plus your regular pension going forward. So basically with DROP, you're getting paid twice. You can choose to keep working, build up a nice bonus, and then retire with some serious extra money waiting for you. The bottom line is if you're thinking about policing, you're not just choosing a career, you're establishing a long-term financial game plan that most people your age don't even know exists. It's smart, secure, and sets you up for freedom later in life. So if you're someone who values long-term financial stability, a strong pension, and real job security, maybe it's time to look at policing through a different lens. Not just as a job, but as a dependable career, and one with a future that pays well. Let's be honest, when most people picture a career in law enforcement, they think danger, lawsuits, and stress. But the reality, it's often very different than what you see on TV. Because here's the part nobody tells you. For many officers, this job offers something rare, a stable and satisfying job with real lifestyle balance. Let's talk about that lifestyle. In many police departments, work schedules are organized to give officers extended time off. It is common to have several days on duty followed by several days off, providing more regular breaks and better work-life balance than many other careers. In other words, long weekends can be the norm. That kind of built-in balance can be a big deal, especially if you care about having time for family, hobbies, travel, or just recharging. We can pick up a side hustle, while your friends and other careers can be squeezing in errands on Sunday nights. You've got entire days for real life balance. It's a rhythm that gives you structure and freedom and time to recharge. That's something most 9-to-5 jobs can't offer. And speaking of 9-to-5s, have you ever dreaded the idea of sitting in a cubicle, staring at the same screen, doing the same thing every single day? Yeah, me too. That's why I want to tell you that a police officer's job breaks that mold. In this career, no two shifts look alike. Every day feels different. You get to interact with and serve the public. In a lot of ways, some of the real magic of this career is variety. One day, you're helping a lost child reunite with their parent. The next, you're working a community event, building trust with neighbors. Then maybe you're assisting in a traffic investigation, collaborating with a detective, or responding to a call that requires quick thinking, creativity, and empathy. There's adrenaline, there's challenge, there's connection, and there's change, constant change. The job evolves every day with the community, with technology, with society. If you're the kind of person who craves structure and responsibility, but hates monotony, who wants a dynamic job that makes you feel alive, this might be your calling. It's not just about enforcing laws, it's about solving problems, communicating with people, thinking on your feet, using your brain and your heart often at the same time. You're not just clocking into repetition, you're stepping into purpose with an honorable career that serves your community. As a police officer, you will interact with all kinds of people in many situations that offer unique experiences and lasting impressions. Sure, some days can be tough, but you won't have to go through them alone. Many departments offer behavioral health resources and peer-to-peer support programs. So when you had a difficult day, there's always somebody ready to have your back. And yes, policing involves risk. But statistically, the actual risks officers face are much lower than most people assume. In fact, you might be surprised to learn this. Most police officers go their entire career without ever firing their weapon in the line of duty. Policing at its core is about communication, presence, and problem solving, not just arresting people. Officers are trained to de-escalate and to keep people safe. They wear protective gear, work with backup, and follow procedures specifically designed to reduce risk. And here's something even more surprising. Incidents involving firearms are actually rare, even though those are the ones that tend to make the news. In reality, most days in policing are about solving problems, helping people, and keeping situations calm. Okay, so the risk of injury is relatively low, but you might still be wondering about something else, liability. A lot of people assume police officers can be sued for anything, but that's not how it works. Thanks to legal protections like qualified immunity, the reality is far less intimidating. Qualified immunity is a legal doctrine that protects government officials, including police officers, from personal liability when they're performing their duties within the law. Unless an officer violates a person's clearly established constitutional rights, something that a reasonable officer should have known was unlawful, they generally cannot be held personally responsible for damages under federal law. And that's not all. Departments carry insurance, and legal teams are in place to defend officers when needed. Accountability matters, and it exists, but the idea that an honest mistake could ruin your life financially, that is not the reality of police work. For all these reasons, many officers generally love what they do. According to a national survey, a large majority of officers say they're satisfied with their job. They talk about the variety, the sense of challenge, the teamwork, the camaraderie, and the chance to be out in the community, not stuck behind a desk. It is a profession that keeps you on your feet both literally and mentally. And while the job comes with risks, officers are equipped with the tools, the training, and support that allow them to do their work confidently and safely, so they can help others when they need it most. Policing is one of those rare careers that comes with a deep sense of purpose. While headlines often focus on extreme moments, the vast majority of police work is about serving, showing up for people, protecting the vulnerable, and creating calm where there's chaos. It's a profession where every single day you're helping someone. Your presence matters. Your decisions carry weight. And your leadership, often quiet and unseen, makes a real difference in the life of your community. Ask officers why they do it, and you will hear stories. Stories about helping a lost child get home safely, about sitting with someone in crisis until help arrives, about stopping a small problem before it becomes a tragedy. These kinds of moments don't always make the news, but they're the moments that matter. Because at its heart, policing is about purpose. It's about knowing that your work has meaning, not just in theory, but in real people's lives every single day. This isn't about glamorizing the job. It's about showing you a side of policing that's real, a career that can be meaningful, dynamic, and yes, even lower risk than you probably assumed. If you're thinking about a career that has purpose, flexibility, and a little more adventure than a desk job, don't write off policing. It's not just a uniform, it's a lifestyle, one that might just fit better than you expect.